razmišljaš.
Eto.
Sad više ništa ne pričam.
Nemojte. Niste fora. Sad da kažem, ja sam stavila Megi onaj video, ne znam jesi vidjela, sam ti poslala poruku.
Sanjala, mi smo te pozdravili, samo ti nisi čula.
Idem pogledat. Dobar dan.
Dobar dan.
Evo, ti si nam za sad jedini...
Bok Ivana, nju nismo pozdravili.
Koga
Bok Ivana.
Jesmo, mahali smo.
Bok Ivana.
Smijem ja pit kavu, smijem, jel?
Da, pa sad ćemo zapravo, imamo jednu studionicu koju ćemo ispričati naše.
Vidite kako imam šalicu.
Imamo prvog posjetitelja.
To sam mazno od sina. Evo, stižu nam.
Da sad moramo ozbiljiti.
Da.
Sad samo ozbiljno, daj. Hello.
Hello.
Okay, we have to speak in English. We will wait for a while for other participants to join us. I would like to ask you that we also participate in Sanela's session, which is according to schedule after our session. Hello, Marie.
Hi, Marie.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Oh, all the better for seeing you guys. It's so long since I've seen you.
Hello.
Brilliant.
Half a year, I think.
Yeah. So how are you all doing?
Very well. We are waiting for participants of our session. And I'm glad to see you with us.
Well, I'm very, very pleased that you've allowed me to join you. I'm ever so sorry if I dip out in an hour or so, but there's the Maureen, Glenn and the Irish group have got a session running at the same time. What an impossible clash. So I'm trying to be in two places at the same time.
Oh, can you be at two places in the same time?
Well, if you're Hermione Granger, then you can, of course. You only need a time turner.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a really good idea. But I expect it's one of the advantages of Zoom, because I'm really missing not seeing you people in person, right? Just from the neck up is sort of a bit limiting. But it does mean that I can be in Croatia and in Ireland. And and I was in Malaysia as well, all in the same day.
Great.
Well, we've been looking forward to going to Scotland for 2 years now, but there simply isn't a chance to see Dundee just yet.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm gonna have to do this. In fact, I think Maureen's in Split, or she was last week. Maureen Glenn. So, so it reminded me of when I was last with you guys in Split, which was wonderful. I still remember it. So, what are you all doing?
We are in the project all the time and deal with professional development. This is our main activity these days and maybe years.
Years, definitely. And you, Marie?
Actually,
And the rest?
very much the same. Actually, really getting on the inside of living educational theory research as continuing professional development, and I'm really beginning to understand that it's only taken me nearly 20 years to get there, but I'm getting there, you know. So it's I'm really looking at it, excited at what you're saying. And another time, Branko, I really want to catch up with all your guys, including Sanya, and I still want that paper from her. So yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing your different ideas and where that takes me to as well.
Okay, we will inform you about our activities, current activities. Now it's time to start, it seems, but maybe we can wait for a while. What do you think?
There are some people who are joining us at the moment.
Okay.
I see Jack here and Andy, I think, and Shiromi.
Hello.
Okay. Hello, hello,
Hello
hello,
to
everybody.
everyone. Well, I think that and Charmian is joining us as well. I don't know. I think that we could start maybe in a few minutes' time, perhaps, maybe now.
We can start, and if someone would like to join us, he or
They
she
can. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me just let you get control. So,
Mhm.
did you? Is everything okay? It is, okay.
Yes, yes. Okay, let's start. Hello, everybody, and we would like to present you our current project, which is connected with professional development and at improving teaching practice. I'm Branko Bognar. I work as associate professor at the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences at University of Osijek. I was a teacher in past, and also I worked as pedagogue in primary school. Currently, I work at the university, and I also deal with professional development of teachers. We would like to present you results of our current project, and I would like at the beginning to inform you why did we started the project. Actually, in the Croatian context, traditional teaching is often found in which the activity of teachers plays dominant role. As a school pedagogue, I have often encountered such teaching and have sought to help teachers get out of this situation. Such teaching couldn't satisfy the students' interest, and this was the main problem. Also, it doesn't contribute to the quality of students' learning, which is reflected in their educational achievements. That is why our students have been achieving below average results in the international PISA, that is OECD program for international students assessment. That's why we wondered how to improve the quality of students' learning. The answer may be in the quality of the teachers' learning, which refers to pre-service and in-service teacher education. In our project, we put emphasis on the in-service teacher education, particularly on teacher professional development. It is important to point out that teachers in Croatia have enough opportunities to participate in development. Actually, according to TALIS survey results, they had the most opportunities of all teachers from other European countries to participate in some form of professional development. So, so that's not a problem. Therefore, our teacher participate in professional development enough. Unfortunately, the question. Just a moment. We can. Yeah, I can change the. Okay. Unfortunately, the question is how quality professional development is quality. Our opinion is that it is not. It is mainly reduced to occasional professional gatherings that are rarely associated with changes in teaching and monitoring of these changes. That is why we launched a scientific project approved and funded by Croatian's Scientific Foundation, teacher professional development aimed at improving students' learning outcomes in biology and mathematics. The project consists of 4 interconnected phases. First phase started at the beginning of project and was related with literature review, and another phase was action research, and we will put emphasis in this presentation on this phase. After action research phase, we started experimental research, and we are going to publish project results at the end and during the project. The project consists, therefore, in this second phase, which is the topic of our presentation, was included a group of 13 middle school teachers of biology and mathematics who worked in 7th and 8th grade in the school year 2019 and 2020 and another year. And also the teacher mentors and teacher counselor were informed about possibilities of participating in the project by our colleagues from the agency during the second part of the first phase of the project. And participation in the action research was voluntary. Participants were divided into communities of reflective practitioners or critical friends based on subject they teach. And those communities were led by members of research team. Cooperation took place on Moodle online forums and via Zoom application. We intended to collect qualitative data in connection with the activities carried out through systematic observation, particularly video recordings of learning communities, meetings of research team, and biology and mathematics lessons. And also we conducted interviews with our teachers and students, and we conducted several online evaluation questionnaires. My colleagues will inform you about the results of realized activities in our action research project related to initial professional meetings, learning communities, cooperation on the online forum, and our activities in teaching, which we would like to improve. And I would like to ask my colleague Diana to continue.
Thank you, Branko. Mia, can I have a control or you're to do? Okay, thank you. Okay, so my name is Diana Moslavac-Bičić. As you can see, I'm a lecturer at the Faculty of Education. Sorry. So I'm going to talk about the initial teacher professional development. So the meetings that were held at the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences in Osijek. So at the first meeting, as you can see, it was led by project members and was attended by 9 mathematics teachers and 8 biology teachers. So at the first meeting, Branko had an introductory speech about the project. And the project name is Professional Development of Teachers with the purpose of improving the learning outcomes in natural sciences and mathematics. And the next topic was from Irena Ljerkan, our advisor from the education agency, Jelena. They had a presentation about the features of effective biology teaching and also about the features of effective mathematics teaching, both in separate lectures. And then Branko and our colleague that is not here, Ana Mirosavljević, congrats to her for her PhD today. They talked about the teaching monitoring protocols, the features of effective professional development of mathematics and biology teachers. And the last lecture was about the online collaboration via Moodle, because we agreed to use Moodle in our distance communication with teachers. Then there was the second meeting. It's going to work. Okay. So the second meeting was first for the mathematics teachers. It was held in February 2020. Sorry. This should be it. The participants were our research team members and 7 mathematics teachers. And there were several workshops. So the first one was the role of tasks in mathematics teaching. So Ljerka and I talked about high and low cognitive demand tasks. And then we had the analysis of teachers' recordings regarding the features of effective mathematics teaching. So we showed them the parts of their own recording videos in classroom, where we can see an example of implementation of the features of effective mathematics teaching. Then Branko had a lecture about the realization of action research, because they were told to do the future action researches, and of course he said how to conduct it. Also, the last theme was critical friendship and learning communities, because we had later the learning communities via Zoom. And the second meeting for biology teachers was held a week after. There were similar topics. So the members of the research team held workshops with 7 biology teachers. And the first workshop was about the possibilities of using Montessori pedagogy in biology teaching. And it was led by our 2 colleagues that are not here, unfortunately, Maria and Maria. You can see them on the pictures. Then the second workshop was led by Irena. And she talked about the features. They had a workshop about the features of quality biology teaching, and also types of questions used in biology. Precisely, they were talking about regarding lower and higher cognitive questions. And at the end, similar to the meeting from that was held with mathematics teachers, Branko talked to them about how to conduct an action research, and also about critical friendship and learning communities. So something about Moodle and Zoom, please do. Mia is going to tell you something about it.
Thank you, Diana. So my name is Mia Filipov, and I'm a doctoral researcher at this faculty, the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences in Osijek, which you can see behind me and all around me, actually. So I'd like to talk to you about how our online professional development program was realized and why actually it was online, why it was realized online. So even though we wanted it to be held mostly in person, face to face, we opted for an online version of it because of the pandemic. You know that the worldwide social and health guidelines prohibited close physical contact. So that also applied to our research team, and that's why we had to come up with a plan to see if we want to cancel all our endeavors and for it to come to a halt, or we wanted to continue. And we decided that canceling our efforts and putting an end to all of it just wasn't an option that was good enough for us. So we designed, we could say, an online professional development program, which was supposed to be realized through Zoom and Moodle. So we weren't really allowed to go to our teachers' schools, which was the initial plan. And that's why we formed online professional development groups or learning communities. Initially, it was planned to visit our teachers in their schools, to record their teaching, to discuss about their lessons, to plan ongoing or upcoming lessons. And that's what we couldn't do. So during those online learning communities, we wanted to give our teachers the opportunity they didn't or couldn't get in real time before it was or like it was planned before the pandemic. So the online version of our professional development program we actually opted for was a better solution because we could reach more people at once, thus enabling the collaboration for us, the research team in the first place, and B, the learning community consisted of a greater number of practitioners and researchers, thus enabling teachers to learn from a greater number of people and share their experiences and professional backgrounds and so on. So we wanted our learning experience with the teachers to rely on theoretical grounds of e-learning and adult learning, and I'm not going to bore you with a lot of those, but I want to say that we wanted our teachers' learning to be collaborative, to give them an opportunity to share their practices, their challenges, the things they enjoy, and to simply share their narratives with each other. B, we wanted their learning to be situated or contextualized, which means that teachers should give us an opportunity to peek into their classrooms, to see their practices, and to spark conversation on things that matter. And C, we wanted their learning to be transformative, is to give them the opportunity to critically assess their practices and perspectives on teaching, as well as their professional identity. So I'm not going to bore you with theoretical underpinnings of our PD in the first place, and in the second place, I'm not going to bore you with a lot of words. So here's a video where we can see what we actually did and how it all looked like. I'm just gonna try to at least mute the video because the audio isn't as important as hopefully the things that I like to say. So this is the video. So firstly, I'd like to say that before the meetings of the learning community, the research team members met and discussed what would be done during those meetings. And what was really important was for our teachers to record their classes, so we would be able to actually analyze the organic and authentic artifacts from their classrooms. What was really important was, along with the lesson recordings, were the theoretical lectures the teachers and professors gave at the learning community meetings, for instance, about collaborative, problem-based or inquiry learning. Here you can see what Professor Bognar talked about at one of the meetings of our learning community. You can see here one of the teachers, Ivana, introducing us to one of her recorded lessons. And this is what it looked like when we watched her lessons on Zoom. She talked about what she actually did in the lesson, and she showed us what she did in the lesson without it relying exclusively on her memory. We got to see what she actually did, and we analyzed her teaching in breakout rooms. We gave her positive and corrective feedback, which we hoped she would use in the planning of upcoming lessons. We also, sorry, someone is trying to join our session. So we also use the data acquired from the classroom observation protocols. Here you could see corpus data, as well as ozone, which Ivana is going to talk to you about. And what we also did, we discussed those, the feedback that we came up for the recorded lesson, and we hoped the teacher would take into account what we said. And what was also done was the planning of upcoming teaching in a collaborative manner. So our teachers, along with pedagogical content knowledge experts, namely Ljerka, Diana, and Irena, came up with lesson plans for the next lessons. And during this part of the project, special attention was paid to in analyzing students' work, especially students' understandings. This is something that not enough emphasis was placed upon. So in some other phases of the project, some other unknown projects, perhaps in the near future, hopefully at least, will be analyzed in a further manner. But for now, we cannot talk all that much about that. And here you can see one of the sessions after a meeting of our learning community, where Irena, Professor Branko, Ivana, and I analyzed what was happening in that meeting, what was good, what wasn't, and what could be better enhanced. Here you can see the Moodle system at which or on which we engaged in online asynchronous discussions about teaching. Here you can see Ozrenka, who is also going to be talking today. Here you can see how analysis of her class or her lesson looked like. Here we used also an application called Dialogues, and we invited her to share with us her reflections, her thoughts on the lesson. And later on, after she wrote what she had to say, that is research team members, wrote our own reflections and thoughts and suggestions regarding her lesson. And the main focus of our comments was on giving her positive and corrective feedback. And here you can see how or what Professor Branko and I wrote about one of the other teachers, Željko, what we wrote about his lesson. And you can see how in practice actually the use of the protocol looks like. And this is the application Dialogues, which enables us or facilitates the discussion about teaching. And here you can see the video is going really fast, so I don't have that much time to talk about what's happening. And here you can see one of the evaluation forms we distributed to teachers after each meeting of the learning community. And I think that's it for me. I'm pretty sure it is. That's it. Okay. I don't know who's going next after me. I think that's
Ivana.
Ivana, sorry. So here it is. Ivana, the microphone is yours.
Okay, thank you. Let me see.
Once more.
Once more. Okay. Just a moment. Okay. Hello, I'm Ivana Šustek, and I'm postdoctoral researcher at the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences at University of Osijek. And today I will tell something about video recording and lesson analysis using protocols. can see. Okay, the video recording of the lessons was arranged individually with all the participating teachers. 5 lessons from each teacher were video recorded, and some of them video recorded 6 lessons and posted on an online forum, sarprima.net, where the teachers and the research team members reflected on the videos by providing feedback. You can see on this picture how it looks like. Also, we analyzed the video recording lessons using the corpus and the ozone protocols. Now, corpus is a classroom observation protocol for undergraduate STEM courses. It works outside of STEM for large lectures in general. An observation protocol is a tool which quantifies how much of the lesson is spent on the different activities. It actually codes what the teacher is doing, for example, lecturing, asking questions, interacting with small groups, and what the students are doing, for example, listening, note-taking, discussing a posed problem, answering a critical question, etc. With this protocol, the observer makes a notation every 2 minutes on what the students are doing and what the teacher is actually doing. The resulting data, as you can see on this picture, can be scored so that the teacher can see how much time they tend to spend lecturing versus more student-centered activities. Now we have ozone. Just a moment. Okay, ozone is a protocol that examines 6 important areas of the teaching process that determine the quality of teaching. And these are classroom atmosphere, lesson structure, students' involvement and motivation, individualization or differentiation, teaching metacognitive skills and learning strategies, at the end, feedback and formative evaluation. For each of the listed teaching features, we assess the extent to which it is represented during the observation. And so we have a not observed or not applicable, insufficiently present, and sufficiently present. At the end, I can say that we use the protocols in the realization of the reflection, in learning communities, and in the analysis of the realized changes. And now our colleague Ljerka will tell something about changes that math teachers made in their teaching practice. Thank you. Okay.
Hi. Okay, I just went too far. My name is Ljerka Jukic-Matic, and I'm assistant professor at the Department of Mathematics, University of Osijek. So I'll be explaining what changes did mathematics teacher made in their teaching practice. So during the project, we worked at first with 9 math teachers, but during the pandemic, only 6 teachers remained. In our professional development activities, like initial gatherings and community of practice, we placed emphasis on effective mathematics and features of effective mathematics teaching. And those included determining mathematical goals that guide learning, building on students' knowledge, which involves also effective feedback, implementing tasks that promote reasoning and problem solving, facilitating meaningful mathematical discussions, exposing students to common misconceptions and mistakes, individualization, differentiation, and personalizations in mathematics teaching, collaborative learning, and developing procedural knowledge from conceptual understanding. All these features were taken from National Council of Teachers of Mathematics in USA. So we decided to ask our teacher and emphasize those features in teacher practice. We provided examples from the research, but also, as Diana earlier said, we tried to find these features in their initial videotaped lessons. Okay. So, okay. We encouraged mathematics teachers to implement those features in their daily teaching. And this actually happened one step at a time. All 6 teachers did change their teaching practice in some way. All teachers changed the cognitive demand of their tasks, going from tasks with low cognitive demand to tasks with high level of cognitive demand in the end. And this change entered into their teaching practice as common part of their lessons. So the student did not object when they received or obtained more complex tasks that demanded reasoning or problem solving or consist of several steps. So let's talk about changes that each teacher made in teaching practice. On this picture, on the first picture, we can see a teacher called Mr. Z. And in the beginning, he had a traditional role in the classroom. So he experimented with features of effective teaching in his lessons and incorporated into his teaching. And during the action research, his role changed from being the center of the classroom to being facilitator of learning. So what does this actually mean? For instance, when students were working on tasks, he was explaining and talking instead of leaving students alone to solve the tasks. And later, he talked with students, not to the students. So this is one of main changes in his teaching practice. Then Mrs. M, she changed her workplace during action research. New students were accustomed to memorizing formulas, and she emphasized here conceptual understanding, connected their new knowledge with prior knowledge, elicited reasoning and sense making, and she had achieved change in the context of a new classroom. Other teachers achieved change in features of giving feedback. For instance, Mrs. J had a habit of delivering feedback as solution being correct or incorrect. But during community of practice meetings, we pointed out that such feedback is not productive. So feedback in the last video taped lesson focused on metacognitive regulation. And she continually worked on mathematical communication with her students, which was lacking in the beginning. Teacher 5 or Mrs. D focused on giving adequate feedback using technology. She used various applications like assessments during the lockdown. Then she used OneNote, MS Forms, and assessments also in the second part of our project, where we decided to have online meetings. And last teacher, Mrs. T, she changed some of her practice or some students' problems. Central idea for change in her teaching practice was homework. We observed the change in the context of pandemic. She used in adequate way technology to get feedback, but also to check students' homework. Noticeable change was also in the context of learning community. Here we can point cooperation with other teachers. For instance, she helped Mrs. M to design flipped classroom. She also took some materials from Mrs. M and she adapted other teachers' teaching ideas and improved them. So this is something that we noticed in her teaching. There is also teacher 1 or Mrs. M also. I did not present ideas or did not give a description of her change because she will present her case later in this presentation. So Irena, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Ljerka. Just a moment. Okay. Hello. Please. Okay. My name is Irena Labak, and I work at Department of Biology in Osijek, and I teach students how to teach biology. And today I will talk you about results from our project that are related to changes in teaching aspects that we noticed during observation of biology classes. The analysis of initial lessons of all teachers at the beginning of a process of professional training or reflective learning showed the following positive aspects. Those are good classroom atmosphere and good structure of the lesson. Except positive aspects, results also indicated some aspects that could be improved. Those are teaching that encourages higher order thinking, that involves understanding, applying, and problem solving. And we use Crookes taxonomy to access cognitive level. The second aspect is teaching metacognitive skills and learning strategies. And the third aspect is formative assessment with emphasis to constructive feedback. Then can be used by students to improve their learning and also by teachers to improve their teaching. During reflective learning, which consists of learning communities and lessons analysis that represent mutual support, exchange of experiences, reflection, and feedback, progress was noticed, and teachers began to teach in a way to encourage higher order cognitive process. But all teachers reach just a level of understanding and application. None of them achieved problem solving level. Related to this, it was noticed that there is a lack of teaching metacognitive skills, meaning activities that the students monitor and manage their own cognitive process before, during, and after learning, which plays an important role in complex and new tasks for what students don't have much prior knowledge. Teachers apply formative assessment, meaning different techniques for assessment for learning from the beginning, but do not provide constructive feedback, especially in the part of emphasizing students' progress and their success in learning. And in this moment of reflective learning, marked as a red line, we notice progress in some teachers. So in order to improve the mentioned aspects, we invite all teachers to implement the flipped classroom in their teaching. We choose the flipped classroom because this approach allows active problem-based learning, which in order to be complete have to include formative assessment that support self-regulated learning. And in the implementation of the flipped classroom, all teachers had our support. At the end of reflective learning and after the flipped classroom, results show that for teachers who initially had poor cooperation among students and or difficulties in performing collaborative learning, flipped classroom contribute to better cooperation. But there's still a lack of learning that encourages cognitive process in the level of problem solving and relating teaching metacognitive skills application. This suggests that there is a space and a need for, there is a space and a need for professional development, and although the concept of flipped classroom is simple, in order to plan and implement it well in the classroom, additional practice, coaching, and expert support is necessary. So in conclusion, we can see those teachers who had more positive aspects at the beginning of professional training or reflective learning than those for improvement did not experience major changes, and those who at the beginning of the professional training had more aspects for improvement achieved greater changes compared to the first one. Okay, that's all. I invite now my colleague Ozrenka. Thank you.
Ja mogu. Just a second. Oh, hello. My name is Ozrenka Meštrović, and I'm a biology teacher in primary school in Vinkovci. The presentation is flipping, so just give me a minute. Okay. Oh, okay. So I'm teaching biology for 15 years now, and I felt that I fell into a comfort zone. I'm still happy with my work, but I also feel that something was missing, but I couldn't put my finger on it. Project was suggested. I jumped right into it because I hoped it would give me information and insight that I was missing during my self-reflection, some new perspective on my work or something like that. So this project was great because of the unique mixture of activities. First of all, there was camera, and there was a bit of a stage fright because of the camera and the availability of video materials, who will see them and when and what will be of them and so on. But it was all soon forgotten because material that was made serves as an excellent base for critical observation, professional feedback from our peers, and self-reflection. So when we mix that with Moodle, that allowed us to be flexible with our feedbacks and allow us to return to the information that we were given, you could easily do your own self-reflection and find what you are missing during the classes, because all those students are great and they give us feedback during our every lesson. They don't understand the complexity of teaching as our peers do. So it was really important to receive feedback from someone who understands what you need to do and what is the best way to do it. So it was really helpful. And when we added online teaching communities, it was even better because they allowed us to exchange more information and more materials and faster, which was really great because we could improve our teachings in a smaller amount of time. Just okay, just give me a minute because there it is. So what can I say about this project? During this project, I learned a lot about pedagogical and methodological research techniques that I didn't know. And you can say that I got my teaching groove back, because during my action research, I realized that I need to increase formative assessment of my students. While watching videos of my colleagues, I recalled a lot of teaching techniques and collected new ideas that I now use in my classrooms. And there is more diversity in my lessons. My feedbacks that I give now to my students and to my colleagues, my peers, are now more constructive and direct. And for my students, I've noticed that they are now more active during classes, and I give them more oral feedback during their work. Their results are now better, and I would like to start similar practice or monitoring project in my school with critical peers from different subjects, because I feel that it will increase feedback in different dimension. And in conclusion, I would like to say that sometimes I think we are too preoccupied with our students to see ourselves in our teaching process. So it is good to join this type of projects, because with quality peer feedback, we can all improve our teachings. So if there was a similar project in the future, I would be happy to join, because I think it only made me better, because collaboration is everything. So that's all for me. Magdalena is next. So
thank you. In just a moment.
okay.
Mia.
Here you go.
Okay, go.
Easy.
My name is Magdalena Mikulic, and I'm a mathematics teacher at primary school Ivan Meštrović in Vrpolje. I must say that I am extremely pleased with the results of the project. At the very beginning of the project, I was really extremely unsatisfied with my work and had felt that I should resign. During the action research, I have made great progress, which can be witnessed by my work itself, but that also can be seen by watching the videos of my classes if we ignore the stress and the fear of camera. At the very beginning of on the first shooting, I have had a well-prepared school lesson. I dare to say I haven't seen what was wrong with the lesson then. Also, at the time, I didn't see how and in what way I could change it to improve the quality of my work and learners' knowledge. Now I can see how I didn't have materials for weaker and better learners. I didn't have the right support for weaker learners, or how I could improve learning by using technology, and so on. By the end of the project, I have made a progress in all fields. During the last shooting, you could see my using frontal teaching along with using technology. I applied the new methods that I have had research in project, but I also had a large part of the school lessons where the learners worked independently. All learners had different forms of support. The weakest had support in solving tasks. They used task forms that contained solving assistance. In addition, they had the help of a friend who was sitting near them and friends from the team they were working with throughout the school year. Learners who were faster and better were able to solve additional tasks. There were also tutors, that was learners in the class who helped them in person or through the digital platform. Because of the applying different forms of support, I was able to help learners in person. The learners also had support at home, so as a result, they were coming more prepared for classes. They have become independent in their work, which was reflected in their knowledge. Also, they have become satisfied with their knowledge, and now they are having more realistic expectation. They were looking for a way to improve their knowledge. I must say the relationship between learners and teacher has been improved. During the research, various forms of collaboration were used, such as commentary teacher school lesson, and online learning communities where we had the opportunity to see our teaching videos. This form of training is very interesting and it requires you to participate actively to think and constantly improve. It points you the good sides of your work and predicts how to improve those fields that are not good. In these changes, you have the support of colleagues who advise, guide, and assist you in your work. Unlike the educations where I was a passive participant, I have become an active who the researches, make changes, and applies it all in work. I work on myself every day, which was a great pleasure. Reaction on the change were visibly on daily basis. I realized that my first opinion wasn't correct and that I didn't need to change my job to be satisfied with my work. All that I was needed was right form of training, where with the support of the professional team, I regained my self-confidence, desire to work, and desire for further training, research and advancement, introducing changes in teaching, and achieving better result in work, as at the same time better learners' knowledge. I thank you for your attention. Leave the floor to the professor. Mute.
Okay, thank you, Magdalena. And I hope that my colleagues told the main things about our project, but I just would like to conclude that we accomplished what we intended to do in the action research phase. Actually, we implemented and evaluated and refined the professional development program, which we developed at the beginning. We also succeeded to prepare this program for the experimental research, which will help us to in information how successful this program is related to students' achievement. And also we found out some risk in implementation of this professional development program. Particularly, this is related with using camera in the classroom, and also with many activities which such kind of professional development require. And also we prepared many teaching which we intend to use in the next phase, and also in other professional development programs. And what we intended to do in this project to help our teachers not just to be participants of professional development, then also to become leaders and to take a more active role in professional development. And actually this happened in this phase because, for example, Magdalena, Ozrenka, and other teachers also prepared some of our learning communities and help other teachers to learn, and they will continue to participate in the next phase of this project. And this is the end of our presentation. We would like to ask you to say your suggestions, to give us a feedback about our story, which we presented to you. Don't be afraid.
Okay. Can I say that was an excellent presentation. It was very clear and very well illustrated. And your English is superb. It's even better than my Croatian.
This is completely true.
Yeah, but that was excellent. And to hear the combined teachers and the researchers who are creating a much more powerful form of CPD in the in Croatia is great, and changing it from what in England we have called sheep dip CPD, where everybody sheep dip and everybody gets the same CPD. It is so heartening to see what you're doing. So thank you. That's a really nice way to end a very busy week. That's been great. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Please join us and give your feedback.
Hello, Branko.
Hello, Charmaine.
Hi.
Hello.
I really liked it. I can't remember which one of you it was, that one of your teachers that said it, but the way that she said after they'd been watching each other's videos of each other's lessons, which I think is a great idea, she'd actually picked up some ideas from the other teachers that she's incorporated into her own teaching. And I thought that's really good. I mean, was that one of the things you envisaged might happen, or is that just one of the things that just did happen after, you know, you found out that that sort of thing would happen after you instigated this project?
Okay. Please join us.
I am from Sri Lanka. I am happy to hear the word metacognition. You have that, you have used that concept in your teacher development programs. So I am so happy because my PhD thesis is based on metacognition. But in Sri Lankan context, we have not used that concept in deep. So only now we are starting to use that concept in the educational system in Sri Lanka. So I am happy to hear about your research project based and that focused on metacognition. So I learned much from your presentation. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Please let us know your opinion and suggestions, maybe some questions.
Will you
Hi.
Oh, sorry. Mayuri?
Okay.
Yeah. I heard that your 6 teachers have changed their teaching practice. So what made them change their teaching practice? What initiated the change?
Mm-hmm. Magdalena Ozrenka, would you like to answer this question? Okay, Ozrenka.
For me, the motivation for the change was direct reaction of students that I was seeing when my colleagues were using some teaching technique or method. And I realized that I could try it with my students, but because sometimes they were not so much responsive, or it wasn't the techniques I was using weren't great for their I don't know, personalities. So I tried to be more diverse, so I can see the change in some of my students.
Okay, Magdalena.
Yeah. Did you ask the students what they would like to have? Like if the techniques that you have used is not very effective for them, or if they don't like them, did you ever question the students?
Yes, I was monitoring their reactions, and then I asked them. There was a quick questionnaire. What were the methods that they find most interesting, what they like to do, and what are the techniques that they don't like? And then we had, like, for 3 weeks, a mixture of techniques that they could pick, like the new techniques that I could use for the next period of 3 months or so. And when they picked what they want, I tried to adjust my teachings to their liking.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for the question.
I prepare classes and listen to advice of colleagues, what they say to me, what the best for my lessons. I learn from others, look their videos, and to me help a lot the support of others. And I researched a lot and applied that in teaching. And I talk a lot with my students in class, and heard what they want that I do with them in next lesson.
Okay. Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to say something or ask a question? If there are no objections, and if we solve all questions, I would suggest that we start with another presentation, which our colleague Sanela Mužar-Horvat have also at Zoom application, which since we use the same application, we have to finish this session. And thank you very much for all your suggestions, for your comments, and thank you very much for participating in our session. And I'm really glad to see you all over the Zoom. I hope that we will see in the future somewhere, maybe in Croatia again. Thank you very much.
That would be lovely, Banko.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.